Hey guys, and welcome to the Expansive Journey. In today's video, I'm going to talk about personal boundaries and self-love. And these two are very closely tied together because when you have poor boundaries, it's usually a sign of lack of self-worth and also confusion around what you are worthy of, or what you should, what is okay and what is not okay. And it might be also closely tied to people pleasing. And what I want to talk about today is that when we start to heal our trauma from childhood, we become more aware of these the intrinsic self-love that is within us. Because when you think about it, if everything is one and we are all source, of course it loves itself. Of course it respects itself. It wouldn't make sense to for a divine consciousness to accept mistreatment from anything, from itself also, right? Because we are all one. But it comes to this place where boundaries is actually love. It actually comes from love and standing up for ourselves. And when we start to heal the trauma from childhood, we become aware of this intrinsic feeling of self-love, which if you look at babies, they don't really mind who they are because they don't have an identity that is covering up the feelings of shame and guilt and anger and all the things that we have inside. It's not there yet. So it hasn't been really programmed into them yet. So of course, different people have different levels of self-worth based on trauma and also family. Like it can be in our almost DNA. Like trauma can be ancestral, and it's also like a matter how empathic are you and how much of other people's emotion do you feel. Because when you do that, when you don't really, or when you're born without feeling naturally strong boundaries as you are, it will be sort of hard to say no to people when you don't really feel like they are separate from yourself in a sense. At least that's my experience. And this love that we start to feel when we start to heal ourselves, it's not an exclusive love. It's not an egoic, better than you love. It's not a competitive love. It's an inclusive love. It's a empathic love. It's a unity, a sense of unity. And we know this, and we feel it too. It feels good, it feels natural, and it's more in alignment with what we naturally are. And this will, at least for me, it made me gravitate towards things that made me feel good, and that was alignment with self-love. And I thought, I'm a human being. I can choose what kind of people that get to enter my life and where I want to spend my energy, and what kind of things or people or anything that I want to consume. And also I started to gravitate towards or away from things that was not in alignment with that self-worth and that self-love that was growing from within. And you can sense that on how things are affecting you. If it feels good, it's in alignment with love. If it doesn't feel, if it feels uncomfortable, it's usually not. It's usually come from fear, control, domination, and more like an egoic need to be superior and stuff like that. And when you start to heal and you start to move into these higher energies, more natural energies or way of being, you will maybe be challenged by the people in your life that are not really used to you having healthy boundaries. And these are people that are have been given a privilege from you to treat you the way they want you to. They're used to controlling you and maybe dominating you, and they will have a negative reaction and try to get you back down. But if you have made a change that you know feels good to you, and you know that you have let go of something heavy and you feel better about yourself, if someone doesn't support you, they're not really your friend. It's not unconditional, it's conditional, right? I like you if you behave a certain way that fits me, you see. And this is something that that's sort of like a codependency that we will tend to gravitate away from when we start to awaken and we start to become conscious of how things makes us feel. So putting a boundaries is of course a matter of standing your ground, saying what you think and what you mean, and sort of like not let anyone say mean things to you, or do something or harm you in any way. But more than anything, it's a matter of energetic boundaries and sort of like not spending your energy on someone else. And I tried to set boundaries with a person in my life that I felt like really disrespected me. And I tried to set the boundaries, and I felt very, very angry. Even though I completely cut her out of my life, I still felt very angry. So it was a lack of energetic boundary. My energy was still leaking in that area because it was a negative attachment to her. And that's the moment when you start to see that, oh, I have abandoned myself to please her. I have abandoned myself, and that's why I'm so angry at her. It creates a resistance to other people when they make us abandon ourselves. And that's when I realized that, oh, this is not at all about cutting her out of my life, even though that's definitely a part of it. It's about spending my energy in a way that fits me, not her. And there can be a lot of self sabotage, a lot of negative thinking about yourself if you have not had energetically strong boundaries. And the way you can see if you need boundaries is that, or if you should gravitate towards something or someone or away from it. And it's, you can ask yourself and ask your intuition, does this person, action, thing, is it alignment? Is it in alignment, or does it act from love, empathy, respect? And you can usually feel it on how it makes you feel. Sometimes it's subtle, and you can just sort of just sense it under the surface. But if it's there and you can sense it, always trust yourself. Always trust yourself when it comes to how other people make you feel. But your emotions is yours to heal and detach from, so you can become free, right? This journey is not about setting boundaries so we can become angry at everyone that mistreats us. It's a matter of becoming free and release energy attachments, so we can say no without guilt, and say no when we mean no, and say yes to what feels good and what is in alignment with the self-love that we are feeling more and more. So know that no one owns you. No one is privileged to control you, tell you who to be and what to do. You are a divine being, and no human being are actually more powerful than another one on a soul level, in the core, right? Maybe on an apparent level, but not in our core. So no one can ultimately control you unless you let them. And some people, they feed off control, and they like to dominate other people. And when you sense that, trust it. If you feel like you are abandoning yourself or someone else, it's always usually a negative energy attachment, usually. And you can't change the other person, but you can change how you relate to the other person. So when we are worthy and we feel self-love, we have nothing to prove and we have nothing to defend. And we usually don't live in a twisted, manipulated thought world. We're living more authentically in our truth, right? And we give love and we expect love in return. And what we can do is to just navigate. I have a few videos about energetic navigation, and we can navigate in life. Just, is this in alignment with the love that I feel for myself? And if it's not, and the other person on the other thing is not in a match to how I feel, it's okay to let that go and love them at a distance and cut the negative energy cords. Yeah, so that's what I had to for today. And please leave a comment below if you have some experiences with energy attachments. And if you want to let me know, and like and subscribe to my channel, and book a call with me or watch my free masterclass if you want to work on releasing energy attachments and emotional healing, and of course bring more self-love into your life. And until next time, much love and namaste.